Hi guys. Today we're going to be talking about potty training 101. So obviously this is really important. We don't want our dogs to have accidents inside. Obviously it doesn't smell good and it's very unsanitary. So you may be working with this with a puppy, you may deal with it with a dog or an older dog, depending on when you got the dog. So we're just going to be going over a little bit of some of the basics and what to work with. So the first thing to consider is time. It's going to take time to teach your dog this. So just make sure you're having patience. Try not to get frustrated with them. This can take days, weeks, months, however long it takes for the dog to finally get it down. It kind of just depends on what the learning speed of your dog is. We don't necessarily know that right from the get-go. So just make sure you give lots of time to give to this. The next thing is you want to always give them direction to where you want them to go to the bathroom. They're not going to know where you want them to go right from the beginning. Even if they are potty trained and you bring them to their house, they're still not going to know. So they may have an accident the first few days because they don't know where you want them to go. So obviously you probably want your backyard, or if you don't have a fenced in yard, tie out or on leash. So anytime you're taking them outside, always make sure you go in that same area that you need them to. And when you're doing it, always give them lots of praise when they actually go to the bathroom, give them a treat, and have that command word. The command word's very important. Whether it's go potty, go to the bathroom, whatever your word is, make sure that you're using that. Okay. And then lastly, you always want to be consistent. Consistency is key. I know that's a catchphrase, but it really is. Everyone in your house needs to be on the same page, and if you're doing it yourself, you need to be doing the same thing every single time, such as where to take the dog out to go to the bathroom, when to take the dog out, beware of what the dog's signals are before he has an accident, whether it's pacing out the door, barking, crying, whatever that is, your route to go to the area that they go to the bathroom, and then the catchphrase always needs to be the same across the board with everyone in the household. To create a consistent routine, you might want to use some of the following things I'm going to recommend. Anytime that they wake up from a nap, take them to go to the bathroom. If they've been playing for a long time, stop and take them to go to the bathroom. Anything that interrupts anything that they've been doing for a long duration, you might need to interrupt after an hour or however long, take them to the bathroom. While they're still learning, it's going to take a minute for them to understand these things. So you never just want to expect that they can hold it right off the bat. And eventually they probably will be able to, but especially in the beginning, if they wake up from a nap, you take them to go to the bathroom. If they've been playing for even like 15 minutes, take them to the bathroom because they've probably been panting a lot and working themselves up, and they need to go. Another thing I like to do is I like to tell people, if you get up to go to the bathroom, take the dog to go up to the bathroom. The same thing, like if you just get up to go into the kitchen to make something, taking them to go outside. Just anytime that they're getting up and moving from a resting state, even if they're not sleeping, you want to make sure to take them to go to the bathroom, because that goes back in that consistency of constantly doing the same thing. Eventually, you can kind of start cutting those things out once they're able to hold it more, and that's going to depend on the dog too, their size primarily, because bladders are obviously different in a Chihuahua versus a Great Dane. A Great Dane's going to be able, it has a bigger bladder, so it can hold it longer than a Chihuahua. And same thing with you. Just remember that if you have a Chihuahua, they're going to have to go to the bathroom a lot more than you're going to, because your bladder's a lot bigger. And another thing is, make sure whenever you take the dog outside that you're not just letting them run around. Don't start playing with them or anything. The first thing is they need to get down to business. So don't really pay any attention to them until they go to the bathroom. Then reward with praise and a treat. And another thing, if you're struggling with them like sneaking off to go to the bathroom because maybe they are confused about where to go or how to let you know, there's a trick called tethering, which is what you see in this top left picture. This girl has this fancy belt. You don't necessarily have to have that. All you have to do is just make sure you're holding onto the leash. It just makes it to where the dog cannot sneak off and go to the bathroom, or if they start using the bathroom right in front of you, you can quickly interrupt it and show them the correct place to do. So if they have an accident right in front of you, you can literally just start walking them outside, and then if they start going to the bathroom outside, you reward them. You never want to scold them for having an accident when they're not in front of you, because they're more likely not going to know what happened. Their memory can go they don't necessarily remember things like that quickly. So let's say they want another room, what, pee or poop or something, you find it 20 minutes later and you start yelling at them, they're not going to associate that that's what that's from. They're going to have no idea. So that's where this tethering comes into place, because if they do have an accident right in front of you, you're able to catch it right then, and you can properly scold and then reward them for the correct behavior. Another idea, if you can't necessarily do the tethering method, you have a baby, whatever it is, you have your hands full, you're working on the house, you can also get like a good baby gate, just to kind of block off the area so they're in the same room as you. If like you're in a bedroom or something, you can close the door, but if you're in a kitchen or a living room, you can have a nice gate like this. These even have like an opening for like cats if you have a cat, that so that way they can get it back and through. But it's the same method, that way they can't go off and sneak off and to go to the bathroom, and then if they do have an accident, they're right there in front of you, so you can properly scold and then reward for the proper behavior. So another good thing is this is a nice little schedule that I like, just to help keep you, if you need something written and put on the fridge, this is a good idea. So first time they wake up in the morning, go outside. They eat breakfast or you eat breakfast, go outside. Lunch break, feeding, anything like that, go outside. If you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is about 7 times going to the bathroom outside. So you're going to be doing a lot. Like back to the beginning where I said you're going to be putting time in. That is what you're going to have to do to help get them to finally get this in their head. But once you got it, they got it, you know. So the next thing I want to talk about is some troubleshooting things, because sometimes we get issues where people are like, you know, I've been trying everything and they're going to the bathroom outside maybe 95%, but they're still having some accidents in the house. So there's a few things you can work with that. It could be that you have these crystals, it's like urine crystals inside your house from where they had the accident, and they're marking over that, especially with boys, but some girls do mark. So you want to find a good cleaner to make sure you get rid of that smell. And it's more, there's a lot of cleaners you can get rid of the smell, like vinegar, bleach, stuff like that, but you want to do something more that has like a crystal remover. You can Google this online and find anything good with it. This is one from, actually, it's for bedwetters of people and for dogs, but that removes those those urine crystals to help get rid of it deep down. If the dog has had a lot of accidents inside and you've had carpet, you might want to rip off the carpet. You might want to go to hardwood. Whatever that is, you need to get rid of that baseline smell, because otherwise they might still associate that area to go to the bathroom. One thing I've noticed, because I have a lot of fosters, one dog could have marked someplace, and a couple months later I get a new dog in and they start peeing in that same area. It's because they smell that old smell there. So I actually I had some rugs that I ended up having to just toss, so that way they wouldn't soak up anything. But speaking of rugs, if you really need some sort of carpet or anything like that, and your dog is having issues holding it and during the potty training phase, make sure you get a rug that you can put in the washer. It'll make it much easier for you to clean versus trying to get a big area rug that you have to carpet clean constantly. That's just a huge pain. So there's one other thing I want to mention, is if you get an older dog, or if your dog has been potty trained almost the entire time that you've known them and suddenly they're having accidents, there could be something medical going on. So I always suggest ruling out medical before addressing it as behavioral. If you notice they go to the bathroom right in front of you, to me that's them saying, hey, there's something wrong. Please pay attention to me because I'm intentionally doing something wrong, so you know there's something going wrong. They could be having a UTI. Females tend to get UTIs more than males, and when they do, they pee frequently in small amounts, over and over and over again. Some dogs can also get bladder stones, which can affect everything. It could also be from dementia if they're getting really old. It could be that they don't have as much muscle control. Whatever it is, go to the vet, see if there's anything going on. There are some medicines that can help with muscle control if they're leaking, especially when they get older. So that's pretty much sums up just kind of some of the basics. If you're still really struggling, please let us know. We can try and troubleshoot and see if there's something going on. I know some dogs, if you've just gotten this dog, they could be struggling. If they've always gone to the bathroom out in a yard and suddenly you don't have a yard and you have to start walking them on leash, that can be a struggle. Again, you just have to have that time to keep work with them and have that consistency. And same thing with the opposite. If they've always walked on a leash and now suddenly you have a backyard, they they might have a hard time learning to go potty in the backyard. A good tip for that is keep them on a leash with you and just kind of walk around the yard so they start understanding it and eventually kind of start dropping the leash and then get to where you're not even holding the leash and then take the leash off altogether. So again, just give time, patience. No, this is not something that gets cured overnight. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Let me